श्री एन वेंकैया नायडू जी हमें संबोधित करें आपकी तालियों की गड़गड़ाहट के बीच।
Respected Viswanath Karad ji, whom I admire and also consider as a creative, dynamic personality who has created this great infrastructure and started this institute. I also would like to compliment Sri Rahul Karad for the great initiative he has taken in having this experiment of holding Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad. Friends, when I see all of you, my confidence about the future of the country, it goes up. Because you are the future of the country, you have the aspirations, we are here to fulfill those aspirations. This Chhatra Sansad is a very novel idea because from the young days itself, one should know what is parliament, what is democracy, what are the people's representatives, how should they function. So that being the case, I'm happy, that's why I regularly come here to participate in this Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad initiative taken up by Sri Rahul Karad. Friends, Parliament is the most important institution in democracy. It is the highest legislative body in the country. So it should really stand as an example. And you people, youngsters who have assembled here from various parts of the country, who are participating in this Chhatra Sansad, you are showing a role model to others that how should you function. I'm very happy here. Unlike Parliament, there is pin drop silence here. I am also happy that there are no interruptions also. I am also happy that there are no politics also. No politics and no politics also. The idea is to learn. Idea is to understand. Idea is to know from others. Idea is to set examples. Idea is to appreciate people who have done something great in their life. Idea is to hear the icons who have contributed to society in their own sphere of activity. That is the purpose of this Parliament conventions. I'm happy that you are moving in the right direction. Friends, in the country we are all seeing what is happening in Parliament. Parliament is there to debate, discuss and decide. Debate, discuss and decide, 3D. But unfortunately the 4D, that is disrupt, is happening. Discuss, debate and decide. Do not disrupt. This do not apply to this session. It applies to all. And secondly, I always say, in democracy there will be opposition, there will be criticism, there will be allegation, there will be counter-allegation. They are the beauty of democracy. But in Parliament, I propose as a government, you oppose as an opposition. I propose, you oppose, let the House dispose. That is the principle of democracy. That should be allowed. Otherwise, you are going against the spirit of the Constitution. You are going against the spirit of the democracy. That's why people of the country are becoming sick of what is happening. There is no meaning in criticizing this party, that party. You are responsible. You have disturbed this many months and I have disturbed this many months. The expression se kuch hone wala nahi hai. You have to show your oratorial skills, your debating skills, your understanding, your knowledge, your experience, and then counter the argument by others. That is the beauty of democracy. That is the beauty of the parliamentary system. Late Rajagopalachari, the great man, once said, if you are not well on the facts, go to the well of the house. If you are not well on the facts, go to the well of the house. Well means the inside, that lobby. That is what is happening mostly not only in Parliament, and also in various assemblies also. We should put an end to that. Parliament should be used for more protective, productive, constructive discussion and debate and decision. People want decision. They have aspirations. They have no longer have the patience. They have waited for years together. Now they are becoming impatient because they are seeing what is happening in the entire world. The liberalization, privatization, globalization, LPG. Now they are able to see what is happening everywhere in the world, how the developments are taking place. Now you are talking of smart cities. You are talking of Amrut cities. you are talking of Swachh Bharat, you are talking of bullet trains, you are talking of startups. All new ideas are coming. The new generation, the younger generation, they want quick results. That being the case, all of us in our legislatures and parliament, we should all focus on productive transaction of the business. As a parliamentary affairs minister, this is my appeal to one and all, and also I would appeal to all political parties that we should use the parliament not to score brownie political points, but to make good and sensible suggestions so that things can be improved. This is the first point I want to make. The second point I want to make, the Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi, who is a dynamic leader now recognized by the entire world, country after country is praising the Prime Minister for the simple reason, because people feel Modi means 3D, decisive, dynamic development, 3-in-1, Narendra Modi, that is the impression of the people. After a gap of 30 years, there is a stable government and able leader, but people want delivery. Just now Raju Shetty has said, people's expectations are very high. So we have to live up to the expectations of the people and we have to deliver the goods. So friends, what I am trying to say, the Prime Minister has given us a MISI-DICI. M-I-S-I-D-I-C-I. M-I means Make in India. S-I means Skill India. D-I means Digital India. C-I means Clean India. That's called as MISI-DICI. The program is given by the Prime Minister, but the name is my coining, MISI-DICI. He has also said skill, scale and speed. Skill, scale and speed. That is the 3S mantra given by the Honorable Prime Minister. So we have to understand that we must move forward and we must move with velocity, with better understanding, with new ideas, new technologies, new techniques also. This is the second point I want to make. And the third point, the relevant point today, I pay my salutations to the great soul who is no more, Sri Saradananda Rao Joshi, who has devoted his entire life for the sake of the farming community of the country. The government wanted to confer him with a Padma Award, but his family politely said, we don't want an award, we don't want award or reward. Joshi ji has worked for the welfare of the farmers, they have politely refused it. The government today, keeping in view first time after independence history, has given a Pavana Award to another great son of this great land, Maharashtra, Sri Subhash Palekar, for the good work he is doing in the agriculture sector. First time a Padma Award has been given to a farmer, living farmer, a working farmer, and a constructive farmer. That shows that the need is there to encourage agriculture. The fourth point I want to make is agriculture is our basic culture. But unfortunately, we are not giving the needed importance. I'm not trying to blame anybody. As Raju Shetty said, nobody can blame anybody. Every party was in government, is in government, will be in government, somewhere, at some position, in some state. In this country, different states are ruled by different parties. And different regimes also have taken care of the country for years together. So that being the case, the blame game is not going to help. So we have to understand the genesis of the problem. Agriculture is becoming unremunerative. How to make it remunerative? How to make it attractive? You see what is happening today. You see that a doctor, he wants to make his son as a doctor. Actor, he wants to make his son an actor, though the face is ugly. And a teacher wants to make his son as a teacher also. And also a journalist wants to make his son as a journalist. But no farmer wants to make his son as a farmer, because he don't want to have the suffering to his children. Why? Not that they don't like agriculture, they like it. They live for that. But it's becoming unremunerative. The nature is not helping us. You have floods, you have drought, you have cyclone, you have pest menace, you have so many other natural calamities. Secondly, the various restrictions put by various government agencies also are harming the interest of the farmers. During the 1977, when the great Janata experiment came and Morarji Bhai was the Prime Minister, I remember the entire country is declared as one food zone. No restriction at all in the entire country. Now the present government also, Modi ji also want to move in that direction. You can move anywhere your products and you can also export also. We have to move in that direction. That's one way to solve the problems of the farm. This manufacturer of this mic, he can make, he can take, he can sell anywhere. This mineral water bottle fellow, he has the right to carry it anywhere and sell it anywhere. This watch maker can sell it here or in Washington also. But unfortunately, our farmer, he cannot sell his product in the neighboring district and in the neighboring state. There are so many restrictions, so many checkposts, and so many problems are also coming. So that is one obstacle. That is one obstacle that has to be removed. So the Prime Minister is seriously now discussing with various stakeholders to remove all these restrictions. Make India as one food zone. The entire country as one food zone. That is the need of Dawa. We are moving in that direction. And then fifthly, the farmers also need knowledge. Farmers also need information. IT should reach the farmer also. The latest technologies, latest information should also reach the farmer. That's why the government have recently started Bharatiya Kisan channel, an exclusive channel for the sake of the farmers, and the farmers should really take advantage of it and try to know from those people who have got enough knowledge and also raise questions, get answers also. That is another experiment that's going on. And then another important problem faced by the farmers today is lack of credit. According to the World Bank, only 42% of farmers are getting credit from the institutions. Others are getting money from money lenders. So money lenders naturally, they charge more. So what is the way? Blaming money lenders, banning money lenders, or making an act is not going to suffice. You need to provide credit to the through institutions. As on now, 8,50,000 crores rural credit is given through banks and also by NABARD. That amount also has to be increased in further. Year by year, the amount is increasing. That is one area. Availability of cheap, affordable, timely credit to the agriculture, that is also an important aspect. Secondly, storage. The farmers, they produce their food grains. They don't have a space to store. They don't have even a pakkar, a regular or a good, decent house. So that being the case, you cannot expect him to store his food grains for long. Because again, as I told you, nature's problem is there. So you need to create godowns, rural godowns, cold storage, refrigerated system. That will help the farmers to the maximum possible extent. An initiative was started by Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee at that time, and now we are now trying to add more infrastructure in the rural area in the shape of rural godown, storage, refrigerated system. And then processing of the food. That is also an important aspect on which the entire country has to focus its attention. Mere farmer alone cannot do it. You produce aloo, you don't get the price, but you convert them into chips, aloo chips. It is costly. Aloo is 4 rupees, chips is 40 rupees, if not more. You produce tomato, you don't get price, but you go for tomato ketchup, then its price is more. Simple packaging, simple processing. I remember in Madanapalli in Andhra Pradesh, there's a place, they produce tomatoes. During the tomato season, if you go there, you will find colorful. Thousands of farmers bringing their tomatoes and all keeping there. And initially when I went, I thought some cinema shooting is going on there because of the colorful this thing. Later they told me it's an agricultural market committee. And there, that day, I was there in the auction. I asked them, what is the price today? The farmer was so disappointed. He said, sir, 10 rupees. I said, 10 rupees a kilo, okay, reasonable. He said, not kilos, sir, a basket of 10 kilos is 10 rupees today market rate. That is in Madanapalli. I traveled 120 kilometers to Bangalore. I asked my cousin sister who is staying there, what is the price of tomato? She said, the tomato here is between 8 to 10 rupees a kilo. 10 kilos, 10 rupees there. 1 kilo, 8 to 10 rupees in Bangalore. Next day I go to Delhi. I ask my wife, what is the price of tomato in Delhi? She says somewhere around 16 to 20 rupees. So the producer is getting 1 rupee and the consumer is getting is charged with 20 rupees. So the middleman exploitation is there because there is no storage. There is no information. So we are also now focusing our attention on creating storage on one side, and secondly also focusing more on food processing. 27 mega food parks are coming in the country. In this budget, it has been announced and the process is on, and one of the able minister, Harminder Kaur, Harsimat Kaur, she is dealing with that portfolio. I hope that things will improve further. I have seen in different countries, this food processing is helping the farmers in a big way. Secondly, just now, one of the speakers has said, it is not the mere agriculture alone or food grains alone. You need to go to allied activities. The young MLA has said about it. What is the allied activity? Dairy, poultry. Dairy and poultry, I made a study out of 3,500 people who have committed suicide. Nobody with a dairy background or poultry background has committed suicide. That means there is a backyard poultry, there is an additional income coming to him. That should be the example you have in Pune. You have the Venkateswara hatcheries, one of the biggest hatcheries in the country from the poultry field. We must also diversify our efforts towards dairy and also poultry and other agriculture-related activities. Then again, we are producing more and more rice, more and more wheat. We have to divert and then go to other crops like dals, because there is a shortage of dals, there is a shortage of pulses. That's the government in the recent budget has given 200 rupees at one go minimum support price for the dals. That alone is not going to suffice. People also need to change their food habits, not because of the shortage, because of the health conditions also. Eating more and more rice, what will happen everybody knows. I need not explain it. And also our lifestyle also changing. There is no time at all for anybody to do any exercise. Morning you get up. To go to toilet earlier, people used to walk. There is no need to walk now. Earlier you have to bend. Now you have a commode. Then you have to take breakfast. Then you used to go and sit down. Now you are sitting at a dining table. Earlier to wash your hand, you have to go out. Now you have a finger bowl. Earlier to eat, you have to use your hand. Now you have a spoon also. Earlier to take bath, you have to go to bathroom, bend and then take the water and pour on your head. Now there is a shower. You need not even bend also. You get into the car, you get into the train, you get into the plane, you get into the stage, and you get into the bed. There is no exercise at all. Physical activity is missing from the public life. So that's why youngsters, physical activity is very much important to take care of the health of ourselves and also to add to the wealth of the country. Without health, you cannot create wealth. Keep that in mind also. That is also an important aspect. And then coming back to one of the important aspects is that we should also diversify the crops, produce more vegetables, produce more foods, focus more on agriculture, horticulture. That's why the government is also giving a big subsidy to the drip irrigation in the country so that people in the rain-fed areas, they can also take care of the agriculture and also produce more fruits, more vegetables. Because population is increasing, demand for vegetables also will naturally increase. So we have to keep that in mind. I will just give an example of this onion. Nasik, where in Maharashtra, the onion farmers always, when they produce more, they cry because they don't get remunerative price. But the price in Delhi, onion price, sometimes goes to 30 rupees, 40 rupees, 50 rupees a kilo. I remember one of the Delhi elections we lost because of onion. प्याज के कारण से हम दिल्ली में चुनाव हार गए. The reason is, one is the storage, second is the preservation, third is the communication of the market situation, the price. This also has to be taken care. This is one of the lessons our government has learned, and then we are focusing on that also. Friends, the crop losses is a major issue on account of drought, on account of cyclone, on account of flood, on account of inundation. Farmers are losing their crops. When you lose the crop, you lose your heart, and you are frustrated, and you have to pay back the loan which you have taken. That's why some people are taking the extreme step of suicide. By committing suicide, they are not doing any justice to their families. They are doing injustice to themselves and also doing injustice to the family. Nobody should lose heart. They must withstand and then impress upon the government and then work together. But keeping that in mind, the experience, the Prime Minister recently has come out with the new Pradhan Mantri Fasali Bima Yojana. Earlier also there were insurance schemes. I'm not saying nobody has thought about it. But those schemes were not up to the expectation of the farmer. That's why the frustration was increasing. And you know, when the bank gives loans, they make it mandatory to insure. And when the crop is lost, the money goes to the bank. That's why people used to call that as not as a crop insurance, but as a loan insurance. That was the practice earlier. We have also learned from that experience. That's why after detailed consultation, सब संबंधित लोगों से बातचीत करने के बाद, देश भर में प्रदेश सरकारों से सलाह मशवरा करने के बाद, केंद्र सरकार ने 3 बार 4 बार कैबिनेट में भी चर्चा करने के बाद, विशेषज्ञों से बातचीत करने के बाद, स्वामीनाथन जी का रिकमेंडेशंस को भी फॉलो करने के बाद और अन्य लोगों से बातचीत करने के बाद सरकार ने ये प्रधानमंत्री फसल बीमा योजना, अभी नया योजना हमने तय किया. अप्रैल 1 तारीख से वो योजना शुरू होगा. उसमें क्या हाईलाइट्स है? I will just focus on that. What is the highlights of this? Lowest premium, highest compensation. Lowest premium, highest compensation. Till now there was 15% premium. Now the farmer need to pay only 2% premium for the Kharif crop and 1.5% premium for the Rabi crop. And the center and state, they will share the remaining premium. So lowest premium, highest compensation. The second aspect is earlier only people who have taken loan, they alone were insured. But now we made it mandatory that any farmer can insure anywhere of any of his crop. That also has been clarified. And thirdly, the farmers earlier were forced to make insurance with a cover. Suppose you want to insure an acre, you cannot insure more than 50,000. Now the cap of the cover of insurance is removed. You can insure the crop to whatever extent you want to do it for acre. For the first time, inundation has been also included under the localized risk cover. For the first time, post-harvest losses. This is a practical problem. जो लोग खेती जानते हैं उनको समझ में आता है. After the harvest also, you have to preserve it for some time for drying it and all. Meanwhile, something happens, the crop is lost, and the company says, no, sir, crop has come, you lost it for other reasons, no insurance. But now the present scheme says, even those crops also, after harvesting also, they are also now coverable under insurance. Then secondly, earlier crop cutting experiment, you have to depend on the MRO, or the MDO, or the local revenue officer, or the agriculture officer to decide the loss suffered. Now, it is being linked with the mobile, the other applications, drones, new technology to facilitate the assessment of the damage of the crop is being allowed and introduced under the new scheme. That will really bring a sea change in this insurance scheme. That's my opinion. So friends, today, keeping all these things in mind, the country is going to have this new experiment of Fasal Bima Yojana from 1st April onwards. Government is going for a massive educative drive among the farmers. I urge upon all the people who are interested in the rural development should focus on that. Last point I want to say, the urbanization has come to stay. People are migrating from rural to urban areas for education, employment, entertainment, economic activity, enhanced medical facilities. 5 E's are driving them to urban areas. Gandhiji said back to villages, but our great leaders have shown their back to villages and moved towards towns. So there is no meaning in blaming with them. Even I have migrated from rural development to urban development. Earlier I was rural development minister. Now I am urban development minister. Because urbanization is a reality. 32% of India is living in urban areas. By 2030, I am sure 60% of the country is going to live in urban areas. Keeping that in mind, we have to plan for the future. We have to take care of the agriculture, and we should put all our minds together instead of blaming each other, giving आपका जमाना में इतना लोग आत्महत्या किया, मेरा जमाना में कम हुआ और उनका जमाना में और भी कम हुआ, इसमें कोई मतलब नहीं है. इसलिए आने वाले दिनों में सब मिलके गहराई से केंद्र, प्रदेश और जिला परिषद और स्थानीय इकाई सब लोग मिलके इसको अपना स्तर पर, because we are a federal government, we have different governments, different setups, we should all implement this crop insurance scheme so that one of the major concerns of the farmers that will be taken care. That is what I want to say today on this occasion of this Chhatra Sansad discussing about a very important issue. Normally, people take up political issues or people take up urbanized issues because they are fashionable. But I am happy that Rahul and this institution has taken up an important issue for discussion today, that is Fasal Bima Yojana. I compliment all of them. I appeal to all the younger generation. Please, during your regular this thing, please visit your village also. Keep in touch with your village. Because I always say, people should remember 4 things. I tell them in Telugu, Kanna Talli, mother. Second, Janma Bhumi, native place. Third, Matru Bhasha, the language that has come from the mother's womb. And fourth, motherland. Kanna Tallini, Janma Bhumini, Matru Bhashanu, Matru Desani, Marchipoinavadu, Manavade Kadani. That means whoever forgets the mother, whoever forgets the mother, whoever forgets the native place, whoever forgets the mother tongue, whoever forgets the motherland is not a human being at all. Please understand this message and then try to keep with your village, which is the place of your birth, which has given you this wonderful life. So we have to keep and remember our ancient culture and heritage. जो आदिकाल से, वेद काल से, पुण्य काल से, पुराण काल से हमारा पूर्वजों ने जिया और दिया और विरासत में हमको मिला, वो भारतीय संस्कार को, संस्कृति को कायम रखना चाहिए। ये हमारा सबका कर्तव्य है। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। नमस्कार। जय हिंद।
Thank you very much, sir.